Yep. Good evening, everyone. So, last session, we discussed about how to use the node modules. We learned about HTTP module, node HTTP module. And in this module, what we learned is how to create a server, creating server, handling request, and sending response. These basic points we learned. So how to create server and how do we manage request from client and how we send a response to that. So for that creating server, managing request, we need this HTTP client module. And we learned the basic syntax of this. So in this, what we learned is this module is imported, and through the module we can access create server method. This method contains two objects. One is request, another response. Before sending any response, we are mentioning about the type of response and when to send the response. That is using which method? Write head. And sending the response we have to do by using write. After the response must be stopped, we have to use response.end. Now, in this example, what we are doing is we are just sending some hard-coded data as a response, some string or some HTML or some JSON. But actually what the server side application have to do, it should connect with backend database, get the data from database, and it should return the data. So now in our previous example, the data that we created, the data is JSON type. So the data that we created, this we designed and we are sending it. But now we need to bring this from any database and use it. For that, we need to learn how to communicate with the backend database, how to handle all interactions with the database. Let's see how it works, how it is going to manage everything. So, first point, up to yesterday, I hope everyone tried how to create a connection between client and server. So, today what we are going to learn is how to create connection between client, server, and database. So, this is the data and this is the server and this is client. Now in yesterday's example, client makes a request from browser and on server we will process the request and directly from server we are sending some response. But now we need to connect with the data in the backend. we need to get the data and we need to send this data to the client. For that, what are the options required? How we manage that? Let's see. So today we are going to learn how this server can communicate with backend database. Now the question is, which database in the backend? It can be MongoDB, it can be MySQL or Oracle or SQL Server. Different databases can be there. Now, server, if it has to connect with the backend database and communicate with the database, it needs a middleware. Actually, it needs a software called, we generally call them as database drivers. We need database drivers. By using these database drivers, we can communicate with any database. Any backend technology, not only Node.js, currently our backend technology is Node.js. Not only Node.js, if Java or .NET or Python, PHP, if they have to communicate with backend database, they needed drivers. By using the drivers, we can communicate with the database. And the problem is one driver is not enough for different databases. Every database drivers are individual. That means to connect with MongoDB, we need MongoDB drivers. To connect with MySQL, you need MySQL drivers. Those drivers are designed in such a way that they can't communicate with others. MySQL drivers only for MySQL. MongoDB drivers only for MongoDB. That means there is no single driver in such a way that through that you can connect with any database. First, you need to know about which database they are using in the backend. According to that, the suitable drivers you need to use. So we learned two databases. We will learn both the drivers, how to use them. We will see that both database related drivers, how to use them. First, we'll see how to communicate with the MongoDB driver, how to communicate with MongoDB database and work with that. Let's see. So yesterday's concept is just enabling communication between client and server. Now we need to connect with the database. So we are learning connection with the backend database. Connection with backend database. So how do we connect with the backend database? So what is the point here is, so Node.js requires a middleware to communicate with backend database. Actually, middleware is a framework that handles communication in a network-based application. In network-based application, communication is managed by using software framework called middleware. Actually, you will have a special middleware called Express.js. Later you will learn. But here, this is another middleware. This middleware is to enable communication between the server side script and backend database. So Node.js uses database drivers as middleware tools to connect with backend database. Node.js uses database drivers as middleware tools to connect with backend database. So what you should know is, so middleware is a software that handles communication in a network-based application. Middleware is a software that handles communication in network-based application. So database drivers provide various properties and methods to communicate with database. Database drivers provide various properties and methods to communicate with database. So every database requires different set of drivers. Every database requires different set of drivers. Every database requires different set of drivers. So according to the database, you need to learn about those drivers and you need to learn how to communicate with it. So first, we are going to learn how to connect with MongoDB. So we will see connection with MongoDB database. How do we connect with MongoDB database? Yep, one small announcement is that so Naresh IT is conducting screening test. So for Naresh IT students who are doing courses like full stack Java, full stack Python, DevOps with AWS, full stack data science, and UI full stack with React. And actually, this time the screening test is conducted on 19th March, 2 p.m. And to attend the screening test, mode of screening test will be only offline. It is not online. And screening test offline will be conducted in two places, Amirpet and KPHP. We have a branch in KPHP. They will put this notice in our Instagram, Facebook, and offline also. There is a QR code you can scan and you can register for this. And in this screening test, they will conduct test on your technologies, what you learned up to now. Suppose you learned UI full stack, they will conduct test on UI full stack up to topics you learned. That means 60-70% they will. This time our Naresh Technologies, every time it conducts screening test, but this time we are giving an internship program. We are giving an internship. That means if you are selected, they will give an internship with a live project. That is free if you are selected in the screening test. Internship is free. Certificate, they give a certificate of internship also. The certification will be informed by the placement team, right? They have an internship certification. They will inform you about that. And in that screening test for selected people along with internship, they will give a placement assistance in companies, right? They will prepare you for companies for technical interviews and they will place you in the companies. Actually, every time we conduct screening test, but this time internship is new. That means you will have a complete internship program with the live projects. And that is for the people who got selected, right? Test is on March 19 and it is on 2 p.m. Test will be only offline. There is no online test. Online people, if you are interested, you can check. I will post these details into our classroom group. You can check. Okay. I will post the poster into classroom group. You can check it. Okay. So every time they conduct the screening test, but this time they have an internship program. So if you are selected in the test, they give an internship certification also. So certification depending on the people who are qualified, right? So it is a free program. Once you are selected, then you will be given training with internship, right? For a live project. And they will assist you in placing in various companies also. Okay. And the mode of test, how it will happen, if you want to see previous means you can visit this website. This is Naresh IT website. I will give this name, right? So this is our Naresh IT placement website. You can check this website. This is the website. That is our Naresh IT placements related website. You can you can check this website. In this website, our Naresh IT placement cell will be posting the jobs related to various technologies. Here, you will find the practical tests. That means UI technology related practical tests. How questions are asked in the tests. Those all will be here. You can try them. You can see the mode, how the exam happens. So what are the basic questions asked, what kind asked, all that you can get it from here. Okay. Right. So this is for every technology. This is for everybody who is online and offline, but test will be only offline. Right? Even online people, you want to attend the test, you have to attend offline only, no online test. Right? Yeah. Now let's see how all other details I will post into classroom. Okay, you check that. So how to connect with MongoDB database. Now to connect with MongoDB database, you need MongoDB drivers. MongoDB drivers are required to communicate with MongoDB, but MongoDB have two types of drivers. Actually, MySQL have a single driver. Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, every database have their own drivers. For MongoDB, you have two types of drivers. You can go to npmjs.com. This is Node Package Manager. This is the official website of Node Package Manager, npm.js. In this npm.js, you can search for one is MongoDB. That is the library. MongoDB is the driver library. And what is this driver is? It is an official MongoDB driver for Node.js. And what is meant by driver? It is a library responsible for communicating with the database. And remember, it is updated few days back. You need to keep in touch with this because if they updated few days back, some new options may be added. Some changes may happen. So you need to check them in their official website, because by the time you are learning and by the time you are using it in your projects, version may change. Some new concept may add. You need to update yourself. You need to check that website. This is one driver. There is another driver. So we have an Mongoose library also. Mongoose. So there is an Mongoose also. And what is the concept of Mongoose is? Mongoose is a MongoDB object modeling design tool to work with asynchronous environment. Actually, many people are confused about two libraries. One is MongoDB, another one is Mongoose. Actually, I told you about a concept called ORM. Na? What is it? Object Relational Mapper. What is ORM? Object Relational Mapping means developers will not write for database. Developers will write for business requirements. According to the business requirements, developer will write. If database is already there, it will communicate. If database is not there, it can even communicate. It can even create it. Today I will show you how it will do that. But important is here, this Mongoose is required only when you are using that ORM approach. Without Mongoose also we can do. Without Mongoose also we can do. And what is the Mongoose main concept is? What Mongoose will tell is, Mongoose says that we are good for communicating with the database, and we will provide all asynchronous methods, and we are having good methods for implementing ORM. That is the Mongoose concept, right? That means actually Mongoose allows, one of the main concept is object modeling tool. So to work in asynchronous environment, but this is not required every time. It is not required for everyone. So some projects use Mongoose and some projects use MongoDB. I will show you both of them, how they actually work. But so there is nothing like Mongoose is advanced and MongoDB is not advanced. Their actual concept is completely different. MongoDB is database drivers library and Mongoose is an object modeling tool. So this allows you to communicate with database with a ORM mechanism. MongoDB also allows, but Mongoose says that we are having asynchronous techniques. We are little faster, we are little better. In MongoDB also you can write your own async methods. You can create your own async methods and define. In Mongoose, they have a built-in. Actually, this is the official page of Mongoose. Their official website is available here. This is Mongoose. So what is the main concept here is writing MongoDB, and actually the main concept is business logic, object modeling approach actually. So I will explain how it works. Also, we will see that. So there are two techniques actually. So one is MongoDB driver, another one Mongoose driver. So first we will see one. So here Node.js can use two types of libraries to communicate with MongoDB. So one is MongoDB driver, Mongoose object, MongoDB driver and Mongoose. So MongoDB driver provides a set of properties and methods to communicate with MongoDB database. So it uses a traditional database first approach actually. And Mongoose uses object modeling and can implement ORM, object relational mapping. Right. So we will see how to use them actually. What are the different, but that is what actually Mongoose claims. But with MongoDB also we can handle ORM. So one important note is MongoDB latest drivers library provides promise based functions. What is promise based functions means, promise based function means they are already what? Asynchronous. Promise based functions, they are already asynchronous, and it supports ORM also. That is the reason we can do everything with the same MongoDB also. But Mongoose have majority built-in asynchronous. Now latest MongoDB also providing. And in some cases, we have to explicitly write asynchronous. So latest version of MongoDB is already using promises. That means they change it to asynchronous. So this is enough to communicate. And it can even manage ORM also. We will see how to handle that. That means there are two choices. Your projects can use either MongoDB or it can use Mongoose. Let's see both of them, how to handle that. First, we will see the MongoDB drivers. MongoDB drivers. So for Node.js, MongoDB drivers for Node.js. Because for every technology, these drivers library are different. That means if Java have to communicate, it have a separate MongoDB driver for Java. Java, .NET, PHP, Python, all these applications can communicate with MongoDB. They can use MongoDB as database. These days they are using. Even a Java, .NET developer also have to know MongoDB because some applications are using them. Then in that case, drivers library will be changing according to the backend technology. Currently, you are using the MongoDB drivers specially designed for Node.js. Node.js supported MongoDB drivers. So how to install them? You have to first install MongoDB driver library for projects. npm install MongoDB and save. You know already package manager. How do you install, update? Install the MongoDB drivers for project. So let's do that first. In our project, I will open the terminal and I am installing npm install MongoDB and save. So the MongoDB drivers are successfully installed in your project. Okay. After that, how to use these drivers we will see. For that first, we will create a simple test.js that is for testing. After testing everything, we will implement in an app, client server communication and all. Now in this first step, you have to import this MongoDB drivers library provides two types of classes. Actually, MongoDB is a driver library, and this driver library is actually a module. MongoDB is a module. It have two types of classes. Server classes are present, client classes are present. Client classes are present. That means MongoDB library have a MongoDB module. That module has server classes, client classes. Server classes are required for creating database. They are required for managing database, administration. Database related administration, related all activities are managed by server classes. Connecting with database, interacting with data, data collections, inserting data into collections, reading from collections, everything is managed by client. So you have two types of classes. Now we need which set of classes? We are not administrating database. We are connecting, communicating with database. So which classes we need? Client. So here, so MongoDB module provides server and client classes. MongoDB module provides server and client classes. So you have to import client class Mongo. We have a Mongo client. You have to import Mongo client class. You have to import Mongo client class. Server classes are for administration and client classes are for communication. So how to import? We know constant Mongo client is equal to require MongoDB. And I already told you, if you remembered, is there possibility to directly import only the class you want from that module? Yes. Dot class name. What is the class name? Mongo client. That is the class name. So I showed you two techniques now. I showed you how to import only module and I showed you how to import the class. Last session we learned that. So importing a class, now you are importing the class. And what is the object name? I given the object name as same name. You can give any name, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, any name you can give. Because it is representing Mongo client class, the class name I am using similar as for object. So MongoDB provides lot of classes and we need one class, that is Mongo client. So what you have to do is you need to first install already installed constant Mongo client is equal to what? Require which one? MongoDB. This is enough actually, but it will import everything. We want only Mongo client class. Mongo client, only that class. Because MongoDB drivers have hundreds of classes for different purpose, different classes. So we need the Mongo client class. Okay. Now after this, through this class, you can communicate. This is class object. Na? Through this class object, you can communicate with MongoDB. You can connect with MongoDB. So how you can connect with MongoDB? By using this class, actually, Mongo client class, Mongo client class provides a connect method, to connect with MongoDB server, to connect with MongoDB server. To connect with MongoDB server. So Tell me what is MongoDB server address? In MongoDB we learned na? What is the MongoDB server address? MongoDB://127.0.0.1/27017. Remember that? Right? While learning MongoDB and while learning MySQL, we learned how to connect to them. Actually, MySQL requires username and password. Username is root and your password, right? And MongoDB requires a simple server URL. That means you can connect with MongoDB server by using its address, right? So what we have to do is here, Mongo client dot, we have a connect method. It is asking the URL. What is the connection URL? URL is what? MongoDB://127.0.0.1 colon 27017. That is the address. Now, as I told you, recently means from past 1-2 years, they have changed their library to promises library. Earlier, they used to have callback mechanism. That is the reason many people used to use Mongoose, because Mongoose is asynchronous. But now people are not using, means they can directly depend on MongoDB because MongoDB is also asynchronous. They have asynchronous. Earlier it is callback. Callback means what? Already you learned callback in your JavaScript. Callback requires a function on success, and you need a function on what? Failure. Callback uses this technique, and callback is synchronous. But now these people changed not callback, they changed it to promise. And you know how to use a promise. Promise uses dot then, promise uses a then uses, then is an asynchronous method which executes. That means this connect is a promise actually. It is now a promise. It is a promise. Earlier it was not promise. We have to use it as callback. That is the reason actually 2-3 years back, people who learned course and they are working now. Recently, some people ping us saying that, sir, 3 years back I learned MongoDB and full stack from you. Now I am trying to use it in my application. I am using the same code what I learned, but it is not connecting now. Why? Because at the time when they learned, MongoDB was using all synchronous methods using callbacks. That is the reason in their notes they have a synchronous technique. But now MongoDB changed it from that synchronous to asynchronous. All are converted into promises. So we have to tell them that the latest driver library use like promise. Every method use like promise. Promise means then on success and catch on failure. So even today on internet also, when you have any problem in MongoDB, you search that I am unable to connect with MongoDB. Online, so many forums will help you. You see now on online, so many forums will help you. And in those forums, so you can still observe that if answer is posted 3-4 years back, they post the solution in callback. If you try that now, it will not work. You have to use promise. Now, what is this then function is? This then function on resolve, on success, what it will do is, it will return it will return a client object. It will return one client object. Actually, then is a function. What this then function will do? This then function will return a client object. Because now we know a lot of JavaScript, we will not waste time in writing lengthy. We will use shorthand techniques. Shorthand techniques means I can use arrow, right? So what I will do here on then, what we have to do, we need a client object, and that's it. That means if the connection with the server is success, then one object is created. What is that object? Client object. This object name, your wish, you can give any name, because these are function formal parameters. You can give any name. Reasonably, I am giving client object. As a client, we can connect with the database inside the server. That means now what we are doing, remember, we are just connecting with server. First, we are just connecting with server. So if you want to test, is it successfully working or not, just put a message. What is it? Console log connected with MongoDB. Connect, or simply connection success. Connection success. Okay. After, if there is a problem, then we have to use dot catch. Catch uses and reason. Reason is error. And what we will do is we will report that error. Reporting the error console.log. What is the problem? I will report it. The error we will report. So this is first point. Means as of now, we are not communicating with any database. We are just connecting with server. First, what we are testing? We are testing server connection is working or not. If server connection is working, then we can connect with database inside the server. So currently I am testing only server. Okay, let's check this now. Let's open this here. So this is the command. Okay, let's test this. What we want to do, node, that is test.what.js, and you see connection success. That means it is perfectly working. If there is a problem in your server may have a problem. Sometimes server may be stopped now. Okay, let's test that. I will open services. In the services, I will go to MongoDB server. How to start MongoDB server? I told you. Go to the MongoDB server. Right click on MongoDB server, stop. I am stopping the MongoDB server. MongoDB server is not running now. Now I will run this program one more time. Test.js. It is trying to connect with server, but actually server is down. Server is not on. Then obviously after trying for some time, it should show a message. So once it finds that there is a problem in connecting, it should report the problem. You see the problem comes. Actually, I am displaying complete error. In that error, only message you can show. You see, error is actually an object. Huh? What is the error? Error message. You see the error message. You see error object. Observe carefully. Error object contains lot of details. So many details are present. And in those details, you see the error. error code. Error code is what? Connection refuse. To which address, to which port number it is showing that. Actually, at the top itself, it is saying connection refuse. Connection refused. It is refused from this location because server is not working. So I am displaying the error and I am checking what is the problem. Okay, now see here, I will start the server again. Server started now. Once server is running, now test this again. We have test.js. It's connected success. So first step, we are testing the connection with the server. We have to check whether the connection is perfectly working or not. If it is working, then we can work with the database inside. So this is the first stage. So how do we connect here? So syntactically, this is the syntax. What we have to do by using Mongo client dot connect, we have to write the connection string. It is MongoDB 127.0.0.1.27017 dot then. So this is a function. I will temporarily put just a function on success. We'll put a message console.log connected. Dot catch. You can report the error or you can put a custom message also. What is the custom message? Unable to connect, right? You can put your own message or you can put the default error message, whatever error message comes. So here some important points. Connect is a JavaScript promise which is asynchronous in request, which is asynchronous in request. Connect is a JavaScript promise which is asynchronous in request. So it returns a client object on resolve. On resolve means then. It returns an error object on reject. Reject is catch. And obviously, you know, it is finally also, finally. Right. So now this client object, we have to learn how to use it. That means what you can do is through the client object, we can communicate with the database inside the server. Any database, any collection, we can communicate by using that client object. The reason of why it is unable to connect or why it is unable to handle the interaction. That reason you can access by using error object. So you have these two objects. So then will return client object, catch will return error object. That means actually syntactically we have Mongo client dot connect. Just syntax I'm giving. You have URL dot then it returns a client object, and dot catch it returns a error object. You have finally. You know that finally executes always, huh? On error, on success, every time that finally works. This already you learned in JavaScript promises, huh? JavaScript asynchronous promises you learned already. Here in Node.js also, I will show you how Node.js uses async programming also. We'll learn about that. In other modules you will see. So initially, now what is the purpose of this client object? Using client object, you can communicate with any database. First, up to this, I will give example. This is test.js. Test.js. Let me copy this. This is just an example. Huh? That's an example. Now, once we are connected successfully with the server, we are testing the connection with server. Okay, once it is successfully connected, now remove this. Actually, this error is not required because that is required when there is an error. So now if connection is successful, dot then through the client object, we can communicate with the database inside the server. So what we need to do is we have to load the database into memory by using this client object. Client object have a method called DB. DB refers to current database. You have already a DB command in MongoDB. DB, which database? Database name. Database name is what database we are having. In MongoDB, we created some databases, some data is present. So let's connect. And which one? Sample DB. Yeah? In sample DB is one database and it is having some categories. In categories, some categories are there. Okay, let's try that. So we need to communicate with a database called sample DB. You should be very careful in mentioning database name, because you are working with a JavaScript based technologies. That means capitalization, everything matter. That means if database name capitalization problem is there, it cannot connect. Exactly the same you have to give. Okay, this sample DB is loaded into memory, but how to access the database in memory? This database in memory needs a reference. I will give a reference database is equal to. What does it means? It loads this database into memory and you can access the database from memory by using which reference? Database. Because if you load anything in memory, it needs a reference. Without the reference, we don't know in which memory it is present. So we need to access the sample DB by using database. You can use any name. That means this refers to database which is loaded into memory. What is our database? Sample DB. You can use the same name, but actually it refers to what? Database. Okay. Now in this database, what you want to do? In the database, usually we have collection. In MongoDB database, data is stored where? Data is stored in collection. So in database, we have to connect with a collection. What is the collection name? The collection name is what? Categories. So we have to use database.collection. .collection method. Which collection? Collection name. Collection name is what? Categories. So now what you want to do with this collection? All queries you can run. Suppose I want to insert anything, then you know the methods. What we have to do? Insert one, insert many. If I want to read data from there, what to do? If I want to read the data from this collection, what we have to do? Find. You learnt all the find queries now, right? Find all. This indicates all. It will return all. Okay. That means what it is going to do is, it is going to collect all the data and it will return the data. But important is, as I told you, they have designed like a promise everyone in the latest Mongo drivers. This find command will return some data coming from these categories. Whatever data comes from here, we have to collect the data that is depending on the query result. If your query result is returning many records, then you should collect like an array. If it returns only one record, then you have to collect like an object. That means what is the result of this find command? If your find query is returning multiple records, that means it is collecting an array. If it is only one object, then it is returning an object. So result of find, that is very important. A developer should exactly know what query he is executing and what data is going to be returned. If it is returning an array, suppose I am using category ID. We have category ID na? Category ID as 3. Then it is not returning array. It is returning only one record. If I am not doing that, that means it is returning array. So based on what a find command is returning, you have to use the command toArray. toArray indicates that the data coming is an array. You have various options. We have toArray. We also have an object related also. That means you can collect, you can see it is having lot of methods. These methods are related to identifying what kind of data is returning, right? If it is returning only one object, there is no problem. If it is returning multiple objects, you have to use what? toArray. One object also we will see. So .toArray, it is going to return an array. And this toArray, observe, it is a promise. toArray is a promise. That means how to use toArray? Promise means a parenthesis, dot which function, then. And whatever then function will collect all the data coming like array. That means whatever data is converted into array, it will collect the data. That means it is expecting what? Categories. Categories is an array na? Right? I need to print those categories. Directly I am using console.log and print those categories. That means what is the result of this? Actually, the result of this is these categories is nothing but documents. Collection have documents now. We are reading all the documents. For your understanding sake, I will make this as documents. Documents. That means it is returning what? Documents. Actually, this then function is returning so many. Actually, then function returns so many. I will tell you here. Let's clean up. Dot then, and you can see then uses a callback function. And observe this callback function. Actually, this is returning an value. That means it is returning what? Document. And document type is what type? Array type document. That means it is returning multiple documents. Just to show you. So that means we need to collect what? We need to collect the documents. We need to collect the documents. And those documents we will print. Console.log. What to print? Documents. Later we will send this document to client. As of now, I am not writing any communication with client now. In the next level, we will do that. That means from client browser, user will request, and from the server, we will send the data to the client. As of now, we are just testing connection with database and reading the data from database. Now it is ready. Let's run this and so node test.what.js. It connects and gets the data. That means now what it is doing, it is connecting with MongoDB database. It is fetching the data and it is showing the data. You have seen fake store APIs and all these people, they return the data in the format of JSON, but it is written in browser now. We can do that. That is next point we will see. Right? That means now the data is coming from a database and it is returning. You can not only read the data, you can insert a new record, you can update the record, you can delete the record, everything you can do now, right? Let's see actual concept how to do that. So first thing, after understanding how to connect, this is up to connector, right? After connecting, next step, what we have to do is you have to configure connection with a database on server using client object. You have to configure a connection with the database on server using client object. So I'm just using the method Mongo client dot connect. I'm just roughly giving the URL. After that dot then client object. And what to do is where database is equal to client object dot db. Database name. You have to define the database name. So Mongo client can connect to any database using the client object. If the connection is successful, then it will load the database. After that, what you have to do, you have to communicate with any collection inside the database, right? Next step, you have to communicate with any collection in database. You have to communicate with any collection in database by using collection method. You have to use the collection method. By using collection method. So database, these are the syntaxes. So database dot collection and the collection name. On that find, on that insert one or insert many. Just one option I'm giving, insert one, delete one, update one, all these we can try. All these you can add. Right. So that is connecting and accessing the data. And usually here, the find method returns document on success. That is one document or many documents. If query returns multiple documents, then convert it into array by using toArray method. And toArray is also a promise. So now database dot collection and the collection name, find query toArray, and then collects all the documents. It will collect all the documents. On success, it is going to return those documents. So those documents we need to send. Now let's put all together in one place, right? So including yesterday's server also. Let's do this now. I will copy this. This is just connecting and fetching the data and displaying in the console. This is which one? Test.js. Let's put all this together now. I will go to our index.js. So I will clean up all this first. I need two modules. One module for server side app, another module for communicating with backend database. So we need to import two modules. Constant, one is what? HTTP, require what? HTTP. Another one, constant, what it is? Mongo client, require what? MongoDB. In that what? Mongo client, right? And remember, when you are giving object name, you can give any name, but make sure that you are not giving same as class. Because remember, I given class name as same, but capitalization I changed now. So it is different. I hope you know in JavaScript form is different from form. Both are two variables. Capitalization matters, right? Because if I give same Mongo client as object name, then there is a conflict with class name and object name. I am using same name, but capitalization I changed it. Okay. Now, next what we have to do, configure the server communication. How do you configure the server? HTTP dot what? Create server. Create server uses what? A callback function with the request and a response. It uses a callback function with request and response. You need to know, and it should start. That means it will listen. Listen on some 5050 something port number. Then console.log. Okay, what is it? Server started on HTTP colon 127.0.0.1:5050. Now here we need to connect with MongoDB and send the data as response. So we are expecting data type as JSON. So how to configure the response? Response dot what? Right head on OK. What we have to send? What is the content type? Content type we have to send. What is it? Application slash what? JSON. Yesterday we learned how to send application JSON. Then now we need to send JSON. And how do we send the JSON? We define content. The JSON is coming from database. How to connect with database? Mongo client dot what? Connect. What is the connection? MongoDB :127.0.0.1:27017. Then on then we have to create a client object. Through that client object, we can communicate with database. Client object have what? DB. Which database? Sample DB. Okay. Through that database, we can access the collection. What is the collection name? Collection name is what? Categories. Categories is the collection. And this categories collection we have to find. We have to read all. Convert that to array. After converting to array dot then collect all the documents and send the documents to client. And sending documents to client is done by response. That means what we have to do? Response dot write. And how do you do? JSON dot stringify. What documents? All the documents should be converted into a string and send. After that, response dot what? End. You should end the response now. Right. This is ready now. That means the complete communication is defined. Still here we don't have any work for request. Request work later. Parameters, query strings we will pass and we can use them. So now let's run this and see. So what we have to do? Node index dot what? JS. Server started. Let's open it and request. So HTTP colon double slash so 127.0.0.1:5050 and hit enter. It should get the data. And the data is coming from this database. It is getting the data from database. That is how actually fake store and all this, but actually this is not the concept. Fake store is using another mechanism called API. Currently we are not using API. Later we will see that. That means data coming from weather or other data, this comes in the format of JSON like this. And later we will create APIs. This is not API actually. It is just creating a web application which is sending JSON as response. JSON as response. Any file now. You have to stop this, Control C. Let's go to our database. There is a collection called products collection is there. Right now what I will do in our logic, we will just change the collection name as what products. I'm changing the name products and you need to run one more time. It's ready. Now this time, and I refresh, it should get the products data, all the products data. Whatever present in that, it is going to fetch and display that. So through Node.js, we are communicating with the backend database. We are fetching the data and using it, right? This is the complete communication. And remember, this is just reading the data. We can insert the data, we can update, we can delete. We can perform any type of operation. Any type of operation we can perform. So this is a complete interaction. This is example of connecting with backend database. So using client using client app, right? That is what we are using as. That is client app is not completely ready. This is the example using client request. Okay, this is which file? Index.what.js. That is the file. Now, how to insert, update, delete, that we'll see next session, right? How do we handle all the communication with MongoDB? Once you know that, then I will show you Mongoose. After that, we will see with MySQL how to do, right? These all communication you need to understand how Node.js communicates, right? All CRUD operations we need to learn how to handle. That we'll see in tomorrow's session. Okay, right. Yes, Vaishnavi, what is your doubt?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, the screening test is on the aptitude and the UI topics.
Both aptitude and UI topics. You can see the sample paper in that website I showed you now.
Yeah, sir. I just saw it. So corrections
Aptitude
is
also
also,
will be there and UI topics also will be there.
yeah, the questions is also on the Angular and React as well.
No. For you, React. Angular questions will be for other people.
Yeah, okay.
Because according to your course, what you mentioned, the screening test will be on that. While
Okay,
registering
so
whatever you course you define.
can I take the test now, on 19th March?
Uh, you can take the test, no problem.
Yeah, okay.
Because already you done majority of your complete JavaScript, so you can easily handle it. Okay.
Yeah, sir. But actually, live in Maharashtra. So if I miss the test, then the next test when it will be held.
Every 2 months they will have a test, screening test.
Yeah, okay.
Every 2 months they conduct a screening test.
Yeah, and how many times can I give the test if in the course duration?
It doesn't matter actually, right? You can give any number of times, any number of attempts.
Yeah, okay. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Yes, Kunal.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yesterday I got the problem, sir, regarding the
Soluda.
yes, sir. The problem is in ESLint, sir. In ESLint, source type is common JS, no, sir. So I changed it to module. Then it's working, sir. Import and export.
Okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
file name, I got it to CJS. It's okay, sir. Means file name
You
dot
can
CJS.
give both CJS
Okay.
or JS.
Okay, it's now working, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
good,
Thank
right. Yes, Maheshwari.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Actually, I have attended the test before. At that time, they did not ask aptitude, sir. They have asked only JavaScript.
Only JavaScript. But because it is now internship program also is added into this, you just get prepared with that, but majority questions will be on your UI only. Okay. Now we have a new internship program also. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Due to that, they may ask aptitude also, right?
Okay, sir.
Uh,
Thank you, sir.